Hello and welcome to RP Radio, a weekly podcast about video games and video game related news. I'm your host, Wade Ronspies, and I'm joined by my friends Kegan Ehlers and John Baldacci. But before we get started proper, I want you guys to introduce yourselves. So, Kegan, I have you listed up first. You tell me about yourself. Who are you?
Hi, my name's Kegan Ehlers. I went to high school with Wade.
Yeah.
So I've known Wade for many, many years. Same with John. Granted, I don't know.
What do you do, Kegan? What do you do?
What do I do? I'm a financial advisor with Mutual of Omaha.
So you're what the kids would call a normie.
In business, yes. In the streets, yes, I'm a normie.
Okay. What do you enjoy doing with your free time? Video games is the nod.
I play a lot of video games.
Ooh, 10 out of 10.
Which is pretty neat. I watch a lot of anime and read a lot of manga. That's mainly what I do.
Got a nerd in here. John, are you a weeaboo?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
Okay, so, hi, I'm Jonathan. I do customer service for a sticker company. And yeah, I play video games, watch TV. I run Dungeons and Dragons game?
I thought you were gonna say you run. I was like, what? You were just giving me crap the
Well,
other day about running a mile every day.
I used to.
I wish I still did.
It's, when you work full time, the last thing you want to do is really exercise when you get off work.
I've actually been lifting
Amen,
stuff.
sister.
I'm all sore. Also, worth noting, we're recording this over Discord, so if everything doesn't sound super peachy keen all the time, it's because we're doing this online. We are a relatively far distance away from one and each another. I said that weird. We're far away from each other.
Yeah, I'm about 5 hours from Wade and about 3 hours from Kegan, so...
Yeah.
Hashtag sad.
But yeah, the reason I kind of wanted you guys to introduce yourself isn't just to give context to who the heck is talking into a microphone. It's just like, hey, we're just normal dudes talking about video games. We're just super passionate, and even though we're just normal dudes, we still know a lot. At least I think we do.
I mean, I like to act like I do.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Keegan? Do you know a lot about video games?
All
right, good enough.
I do.
All right, let's
talk.
All right, with all that, this is the segment, the format, the structure of this show is divided into 3 segments that I hope to reach within an hour or so. And the first segment is basically going to be us talking about what we've been playing, what we've been up to. Doesn't always have to be video games. Sometimes, if we're strapped for ideas or subjects, we'll talk about movies or TV shows or anime. God forbid. Well, I'll probably just talk about Berserk and Evangelion the whole time, so it probably wouldn't be pretty. Yeah, and then after that, we'll talk about the news, recent events, some hot topics, as the kids would say. You ever go to a hot topic, John?
We've gone to Hot Topic together.
Don't say that. And then following that will be sort of like I'm trying to do a thing. A main topic where it's kind of like I call it the evergreen topic. It's something you can always come back to, something that's not really reliant on relevance or, it's not really in the public eye or conversation. It's kind of just a general conversation about a topic that you can just, whoever you are, however much you know about games, wherever you are in your life, if you're coming back to this 10 years after the fact for whatever reason, or you're watching as it's coming out, you can still appreciate it all the same. So, with all that said and done, let us talk about the games we've been playing, starting with John, tell me about The World Ends With You.
So, I've been wanting to play this game for a long while. I think
it's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think it came out 2010 or 2011, and it was on the DS.
DS? I think it was earlier than that.
I thought it was kind of later.
2007.
2007. Okay,
Yeah, I knew it. Well, I was gonna guess 2006, so we're both wrong.
So, but you know, it was kind of recommended to me by my cousin like way back then, and I just, you know, I was pretty young, so I didn't have the money to buy it. Well, it recently came out for the Nintendo Switch, and I saw that it was on sale.
Last
So
year, right?
Yep, it was about last fall.
Yeah, yeah. And so I picked it up. It was on sale for like $20 on Amazon or something. So got it in hands yesterday, and I was playing a little bit of it. And so some things that were initially jarring were the fact that, one, you couldn't play with the Pro controller, and two, the preferred or the controls, the ways that you could play it, you either did it as a touchscreen or you could do it with a single Joy-Con, which honestly, after I got my Pro controller, I hadn't touched my Joy-Cons really since, except for, you know, when I'm playing mobile or whatever. So that was a bit jarring. The story seems, you know, interesting enough.
Is it socially relevant? I've seen some people
really
saying that they really like it for its plot and the characters, especially.
So I'm not super far into it. I've probably only sunk about, because I got it yesterday and had to work all day.
So
today,
some of its deeper themes might not be really rearing their head.
Yeah, definitely. So I've, you know, I mean, I'm enjoying what I've experienced so far. The plot is basically the character, I think it's Neko, is the main character's name.
It's a cat?
I know, right? Gosh, I feel off that I don't know his...
That's fine.
But anyway, he wakes up with amnesia or whatever.
Typical anime.
And he is stuck in this game that he really doesn't have any idea what's there, and he partners up with this girl just like randomly. She just comes up to him, says, "Hey," Meku is his name. She comes up to him, says, "Hey, if you don't pair up with me, then we're going to die." And they each...
That's rough.
Yeah, so they have a timer, and so it's structured in weeks. So there's 7 missions essentially and I think it's got like 3 weeks in it or whatever. But so the missions are structured by the days in the week, and you fight these things called noise. And a lot of it deals with. I've read this. I haven't experienced it just yet, but it's very musically influenced.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the soundtrack.
A lot of people say the soundtrack is really good.
Yeah, isn't he even wearing a set of headphones?
Yeah, he has headphones on the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, so what's the combat like?
So the combat is really weird. It was originally intended, for DS touchscreen. Yeah. So I'm playing with the Joy-Cons because I want to use my TV to play. I really don't play my Switch mobile. And so you use the Joy-Cons to essentially imitate what the touchscreen is going to do. So sometimes you have to swipe over an enemy to do an attack. Sometimes you have to tap them. Sometimes you have to hold down on them. And it does, whatever specific effect. And you have a whole bunch of different... Your weapons are called badges, and they all have their own individual effects. Lightning, fire. One is just throwing, objects at the enemies. But the cool thing is... you can actually play it co-op, so the intention is to play it with, someone else. Well, if you're just playing by yourself, you can kind of game the system and use both Joy-Cons to play co-op.
Yeah.
And it actually makes you a lot stronger, and the game kind of, it rewards you for doing combos with your partner.
I see. So is it kind of like a beat-em-up, then?
Yes, but not like a side scroller. It's like a JRPG beat 'em up, I guess would be kind of a good way to explain it. But different. I don't really know, and I've only played about 3 hours, and so far it's enough to garner my interest, and I'll definitely. I mean, if we weren't doing this right now, I'd probably be playing that. To be perfectly honest.
Or 14.
Well, I'm playing 14 right now.
Of course.
Unprofessional.
Oh, I know, right?
I know, I just had to put you on blast real quick.
But, I love me some Square Enix games, so...
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's garnered my interest.
Does it look good on the big screen?
Yeah, I mean, it's stylized, so...
Yeah, but does it look like a good resolution? Does it look crisp?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It doesn't look like...
A DS game?
A DS game that was thrown up on a screen. It looks like if you were to just take, any current day, like, let's say a Shovel Knight or something that's retro style, and just throw it up on your big screen. So it's got,
that's nice.
The crisp image, and, it looks as good as a Switch can output. But, yeah, no, I mean, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'll definitely continue with it. Some of the characters were in Kingdom Hearts frame, so I kind of already know them.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, I mean, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, the versions of them aren't, like, canonically the same, I think, as what's going on in Kingdom Hearts or whatever. But I have a vague idea of who the characters are already, and some characters that they're going to introduce and stuff. So it's just going to be a nice, oh, hey, there's where they pop up in the story kind of thing. So, but...
Well, The World Ends With You sounds like a fantastic experience, if you ask me. Isn't that right, Kegan?
Yeah.
Wasn't that just riveting?
Yeah, I'm not really a JRPG guy, but...
But you're playing a Japanese game right now.
Technically, yes.
Tell me about it. What's it called?
Sword Art Online Hollow Realization.
Ooh. Sword Art
Long
Online.
name.
So, Kegan, I don't like Sword Art Online. I know this is a brave...
A lot of people don't.
It's a brave opinion, I know.
Yeah, same, though. Like, it was fun, but...
It's a brave take. But,
it's a good starter anime for people, but then they realize that there's a lot.
So, would you say you're a fan of Sword Art Online?
Honestly, yes. I love Sword Art Online, mainly because I've read some of the light novels.
You just invested.
So, yeah, I like the premise. I really like fantasy anime, so it really kind of got me going on that. Not necessarily isekai.
I mean,
fantasy in general.
But so this game, we were talking about it a little earlier. You said that it's a canon adventure that hasn't been touched by the shows or even really the comics. The manga.
Yeah, it's more so. It's one of the story arcs in the light novels. That's what they've really kind of done. There's a couple other games.
Oh, you cut out for a second.
So it's based off of the light novels, which, light novels, most, anime follow light novels or manga or both. So Hollow Realization is actually one of the story arcs that is one, I believe it has its own individual light novel, if not a couple. So it doesn't necessarily follow the anime.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
big deal.
But it is part of
everyone's
canon,
losing their voice.
Yeah, it is part of canon though. There's a couple other games are canon as well too. So it's still part of the story, which I really enjoy. It's just a lot to add into it, and it'd be a lot to condense into one little anime.
What's the moment-to-moment gameplay like? Like, what do you do?
You basically start off in Aincrad, which is the main, if you guys remember from your SAO adventure long ago, the main kind of town, they kind of go back to it or whatever because someone recreated it.
Say?
Yep, it's the hub. It's basically the hub, and you kind of go and you run around, buy armor, weapons, stuff like that. Get your party. You can romance some of the other characters and stuff too.
I have a quick question. Is it an action RPG?
Yes.
So it's basically like an open world kind of.
Essentially, yeah. It's got its hub, and then you
kind of like a Tales game.
Points. Yep. Essentially, yeah, kind of.
But just Sword Art Online.
Yep.
Because I've always been like,
Sword Art.
I see all these anime adaptations and all these random Japanese action games, and it's like, are these all just the same thing, or is there something here that I'm missing?
I don't know. Sometimes some of them are JRPGs where they're turn-based action games, where this one is not turn-based. It's all straight up just live action, which is pretty cool, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, real time.
Yeah, real-time fighting.
Not live action as in it's being filmed.
Yeah, not real-time.
Are you telling me that this anime video game does not have physical actors in it?
Dude, I would be jazzed if it did. That'd be pretty
Like Devil May
sweet.
Cry.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry does.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one day anime games will get there, but until they make a real good live-action anime, I doubt it.
Maybe one day every game will be as good as Devil May Cry 5.
That is true.
Right, John?
It will take a long while.
So,
I
like,
think we can do it.
so you said you're playing. This is the deluxe edition then on Switch. So
Yeah, so it's...
is it really
it's
just
the
nice having it
edition.
on the go then, or?
I mean, I could have gotten it for PS4 or PC, but this is deluxe edition, so I mean, it comes with all the DLC, which most deluxe editions do. And I've been trying to play a little bit more on my Switch than I had my PlayStation or my Xbox. Just kind of showing my support for Nintendo. I don't know why.
Hey, they
but
get a
it's
cut.
nice.
They get a cut.
Yeah. So, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it on the Switch. The controls kind of got me from time to time a little bit, just because the A and B are kind of switched around. So it kind of throws me for a loop when you're kind of sitting there and you're looking at the controller, looking at the buttons to press and everything like that. So that kind of threw me for a little bit. But either way, I still pretty much enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that.
How about you, Wade? What have you...
I wasn't. I'm the host, John. Stop.
Sorry.
That's my. I was thinking of a question to ask, but since so Kegan, is that pretty much everything you wanted to? Your deal?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah.
I don't really know what to ask you,
about
because like I'm not really familiar with Sword Art Online all that much. I watched a little bit, but I didn't like it, so I stopped. So
yeah.
But
That's
like,
fun.
but I'm legitimately curious about some of these like anime adaptations, because like it seems like they're usually either visual novels, action RPGs, or Dynasty Warrior type games.
I mean, actually, a lot of
Musos, yeah.
a lot of anime, or not a lot, but some are actually based off of visual novels. Most of the time, it's not. It's not animated visual novel. It's visual novel to anime. So like Clannad and all of those.
Steins Gate.
Steins Gate, yeah,
That's a good one.
Which I love visual novels. Those are all pretty great games. I really like them a lot. But
Ooh, not
for
to
this one, yeah, they're all based off of just kind of extra
not to
story
like,
arcs.
swap subjects so soon in the middle of, but like
Go for it.
talking about visual novels, John, me.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy XIV has a lot of text that you have to click through.
Yeah.
Segue. Are you good, Keegan? Though, is there anything else?
No, yeah,
Feel this
you're
time?
good.
Okay, I don't want to be rude because I saw an opportunity to
I may
segue,
cry,
and
but,
I had
you know,
I had to
that's
take
on
it.
me.
I'm done with Sword Art Online. I'm done with it. I swore off that life, that anime. I have the Black Swordsman I love is Guts.
Yes. Guts.
Isn't Kirito the Black Swordsman or whatever?
Yes, he is.
Nah, it's Guts.
You totally remember way more about SAO, and I actually had fun with the first story arc. So
We're talking about Final Fantasy XIV now.
okay.
But I'm a noob to 14. I didn't start till very recently. I was on the free trial because you and another friend were like, "Hey, we're playing 14, and it'd be cool if more people were playing." I was like, "I'll think about it. I don't really like MMOs, but I'll try," because I really don't like MMOs like that much at all.
But
I've
love
tried.
MMOs.
This one.
I've
I
tried.
love MMOs.
I've tried World of Warcraft. I've tried Elder Scrolls Online. Nothing really, like, I thought if Elder Scrolls Online couldn't get me, then no MMO would, because I'm like, it's Elder Scrolls. But it's an
You know what
MMO.
my favorite MMO is?
What, Keegan?
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah, I did kind of enjoy that one. But that one was like, it was kind of Star Wars first for me than an MMO.
Well, and that's the thing, is they really focus on that.
Yeah.
They really take that. They really do take the dialogue system pretty well.
And there's also
The games and the Mass Effect games, which I really enjoy.
And there's also the growing up, the baby's first MMOs like Like we were talking about the Cartoon Network one, John.
Fusion Fall.
And then there's RuneScape. That was hot.
Still playing RuneScape.
I have it on my phone. It's kind of just log in and chop some trees down. But 14. Let's start with 14. Let's stay on topic. So I don't.
Well,
I traditionally don't like massive multiplayer online RPGs, role playing games. If we're gonna continue, yeah. But for some reason, 14 is just the world, the characters. Maybe it's just because I can be an anime boy in Final Fantasy land, or like I don't know what it is about it, but just aesthetically, I'm just more willing to wade through some of the things I don't like about MMOs to get to some of the good stuff. And maybe it's because you guys are playing, but I don't know. I'm just more willing to deal with certain things because I just enjoy looking at what's happening. I just enjoy the idea of progressing through a world of Final Fantasy. I don't want to say World of Final Fantasy is its own game, but like the world of Final Fantasy is just interesting to me. And even though it's not like it doesn't fall under one specific continuity from any of the games, it's its own entity. It still has a lot of like recurring themes and stuff that really makes it feel like, yes, this is it. This feels like this could just be a Final Fantasy game on its own. It doesn't need to. You can just play it like a normal game, and it still works.
That's what it is. It's it's got its own story. It's all. They do the silly stuff like any MMO does, but
go out here and kill 5 things and then come back.
Yeah, but it's its own Final Fantasy story. And I just got past the base game, but I think the premise of the game itself is funny and also one of the best redemption arcs in in video games.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
It sucks that we can't really talk about Shadowbringers that much because that's pretty new.
We're not there yet.
But we're that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm playing it, at least, is just kind of like, everyone else is there. I'd kind of like to join everyone in the hype of Shadowbringers, but right now I'm still working my way through the base game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just finished it myself, so I'm not...
The base game.
The base game, yeah. So,
how's the grind?
It's not terrible. Like, there really isn't one. Not one that I've experienced. Like, just do side quests and whatever, and you should be fine.
Yeah, and I kind of cheated.
Yeah.
So I kind of just wanted to... I've always been told, hey, you play the first part, and then you get to the DLC, and that's where it gets really good.
Yeah, the good stuff is in the DLC, not the base game.
Yeah, so I did, I wasn't paying too much attention for the first, probably, if we're basing it off of levels, so the base game ends around level 50, and I probably didn't actively pay attention until I was doing level 20 missions. Now, this is my 3rd attempt on this game, so, I had probably gotten to level, mid-teens a couple times.
Right now, I think level 24.
Yeah. But, so I just bought the level boost.
Yeah.
Because I had money. And I'm level 61 currently. I've only leveled up one time through doing the entire...
Are you serious?
Yeah, one
Because all
time.
the quests are so low level, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, basically.
That's
and I
so
actually
funny.
really don't gain any experience from doing the quests. I gain experience from, walking from the next place to, discovering new areas and stuff.
Yeah.
But the story's actually, as I started paying attention, I'm like, oh, no, I'm totally into this.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, actually.
And, everyone says, oh, the base game isn't the good part, the DLC is the good part, but I'm still having a hoot and a holler playing through the base game. I'm actually having a really good time, so that's making me even more excited. So if I ever get to the end, then I'll have a really good time in the DLC.
What was that, Kegan?
What version is the game right now?
So okay, if we're going to talk from original to now, so originally there was Final Fantasy 14.
It was just
and
called
was
Final Fantasy
god-awful.
14.
It was
Yeah.
god awful.
Well, people still liked it, but
It has. If you're going like,
it was.
if you care about like critic scores, it had
Well,
like 50%.
the thing is,
on
like,
critic.
they weren't really paying attention to any contemporary MMOs. They were going more off their experience with Final Fantasy 11. And it's like, oh, we'll just do Final Fantasy 11, but like again, because we're so cool and what they even admit it. Like I watched a documentary on it, and they even admitted like, yeah, we thought we were the best because we made Final Fantasy 11 and everyone loved that, so we'll just do that again. And it turns out people did not want like a early 2000s MMO anymore. They wanted a 2010 MMO.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So,
who'd have thought?
So then in 2014, or yeah, I think so, or 13, one of the two, they ended Final Fantasy 14 by having like an apocalypse scenario.
Yeah, they just killed everyone.
Where they literally had like a giant meteor explode and basically kill everyone.
Nice.
So, Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn, which is what we have been playing.
This was in 2013, actually. Realm Reborn was 2013.
2013.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's what I knew it was somewhere around there, but I know that they did like a couple like they released it on PC
PS4,
and then on
well, because it was on PS3
so.
and PC, or maybe it was just PS3, but I think it was on PS3 and PC, and then maybe in 2014 they released it on PS4.
Yeah. So so you have Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn, which is what we've been playing, and then the 3 DLCs are Heaven's Ward,
Stormblood,
and then Shadowbringers. And so, if you're basing it off of just A Realm Reborn on, this is the 4th DLC we've gotten with this. They do, you know.
So would it technically be like 4.0 then?
Yeah, I guess they've, you know. Yeah, that would be
because Realm
right.
Reborn is like technically like they like if you know technically titled Final Fantasy 14 2.0.
Yeah, and it was a
So maybe
hard
Shadowbringers would be
relaunch.
5.0 then.
I
Heaven's Ward would be 3.0. Stormblood would be 4.0.
To be honest, I have a friend who's doing the DLC between or the
patch
add-on
or,
content between the first DLC and the base game, and they name them like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So I think they consider it kind of a hard reboot.
So they kind of consider Realm
usually
Reborn a
do
new
that.
game.
Yeah, basically. But some of the story elements, if you watch the the final thing that happened in 14, it's just like straight up they're continuing the story, it's kind of interesting.
They fully acknowledge that the original 14 was nuked. Like they fully acknowledge like oh, we just really want to pay homage to all of the original Warriors of Light who fought valiantly in the midst of overwhelming odds, and even though, you know, the world ended that, or we thought the world ended that day, they were so, you know, I was like very surprised that they were very upfront about referencing the fact that the last game failed.
And
you know?
even characters, I mean...
I love 14, man. It's just like, it's so weird to go from I don't like MMOs like almost at all to just yes.
I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I was talking with our other friend Alex, and I was like, I don't think Wade's actually going to buy this. And then like 2-3 days later, you're like, yeah, so I bought 14.
Well, because you can't play with friends, you can't party up on the free version.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, which is whatever. But like, because you can still play as much as you want, pretty much. You just can't play the real game.
I think you can play up to level 30 on the free version.
I saw some people say they were level 35 and still in the free version.
Okay.
But I just really wanted to play with friends, so I'm just like, screw it, I'll pay the $20 and buy the base game at least. And if I work my way through it and dedicate myself enough, then I will get Shadowbringers and all the other DLC.
Yeah.
Because I am enjoying this game. Even alone, I'm just like, yeah, this is fun.
But a really nice thing about the game is it still allows you to play with friends regardless of their levels.
Yeah,
so
it scales really nicely.
Yeah. So if you're doing a mission that's, let's say, a level 20 mission, but like the max level you can be to do that is 25. It'll drop me down, like if I'm level 61. If I want to play with you, it drops me down to 25 or whatever.
That way you're not just plowing through the whole thing.
Yeah, a lot of MMOs do that.
Yeah, but I don't think you can scale up though, can you?
Yes.
No, you can't. I don't think you can.
Does.
I don't think you can.
In 14.
We could give it a test.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, there's some things I think it'd be weird to scale up because like
I don't have any good gear or
how it's all set up. Yeah, especially with gear, that would be really
my
weird
abilities aren't super great.
Yeah. And it would probably add new abilities.
Oh yeah, true. Because you get like some of your abilities are removed when it scales you down.
Yeah, so yours.
It's like you wouldn't have this ability at this level.
Yeah, it'd be weird, I think.
But yeah,
how does it work in the Old Republic, Kegan?
I remember when I did my new bounty hunter, and I did a couple of missions because of it's the first flashpoint is kind of part of the main story or whatever, and it's like a way to get you acquainted with them, so it's a pretty cool way that they incorporate it. But I joined and I played, and there were 3 other guys who were, I think it scaled us up to 65 maybe.
Interesting.
Maybe max, which was 70, and it scaled me. It scaled me. Like, I definitely was the low level guy who didn't do anything. I don't think it gave me the new stuff that I would have though. So like it was literally like I was like the crap that I had unlocked, but it like scaled it up to the appropriate level, so I was doing the damage output I should have been, but it was like my health and my armor scaled up too, but it was like I wasn't wearing that good armor, so it was only level like 22 armor, so I was definitely the worst guy, but like thank God the guys that I played with like knew kind of some back ways that you can go through and not have to fight things, but like we would sit there and like I would sit there and shoot, and like I was support, so I was healing the guys a lot too, and it was just like crap. But it wasn't bad. It was pretty cool though, because it scaled you up, and then when you go into certain areas where you're not supposed to be, it's like above a certain level, it'll scale you back down, which is pretty cool. The way they do that.
Yeah,
I know. Like it kind of messes with it a lot.
I know we had other games we were planning on talking about, but we're talking about 14 a lot. We're talking about MMOs. What do you say we jump into the news?
Sure.
Because there's a good segue from Final Fantasy XIV to the Chinese Final Fantasy XIV Kentucky Fried Chicken promotion. I call it chaos, but it's just kind of a situation.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so basically, recently, in America at least, there was a promotion with Amazon where if you pre-ordered any game, or what was it?
No, you had to purchase a game of $30
or more.
A game or game related of $30 or more.
And you got a fat black chocobo mount for Final Fantasy XIV. It's this big boy.
$20.
It was
$20.
Big old black chocobo that you ride around, and you got it through a deal with Amazon. That's how it was in America, at least.
Yep.
In China, it's through KFC. You get the code through KFC to get the fat black chocobo. And so I'm gonna read this article. It's from PC Gamer. The headline is Chinese Final Fantasy XIV players are eating inhuman piles of KFC to earn chocobos. And so, the way it works is you buy a family deal for 4 and you eat the whole thing. I should probably say quote. It's only available if you dine in, and apparently they do enforce the rule that you have to finish it before they'll hand you the code. Here's what the meal, thanks to Redditor u/CozyWolf for the translation. Okay, so here's the meal. Here's what you have to eat in order to get a fat black chocobo code for Final Fantasy XIV. 1 double chicken burger. 1 vegan mushroom burger. 1 5-piece chicken nugget. 2 original recipe chicken. 1 2-piece New Orleans chicken wings. 1 Old Beijing spicy duck roll. 2 Pepsis. And 2 peach oolong teas. So
Holy
it's like...
And that's per person.
So, like, when I was reading this, I'm like, oh, well, I mean, you just share it with 4 friends and cool. You may only get 1 code, but whatever, just, don't do it all in one day. Just go back a few times and... That you have to do that one person has to do that whole thing.
Yep.
Wait. So you can't do it with 4 people? It has to be
No.
one person?
No, if you get, if you do, it says, that's per person. You actually get 4 times that amount. Each person gets 2 burgers and 4 drinks, as well as the chicken pieces, duck roll, and nuggets. There's a picture attached. Depending on what I do with this edit, you should be able to see it right now. I'm looking at it. It's a
lot of food.
That's just something. That's something right there.
Dude, that's gross.
Yeah, so you get 1 code if you do all that. You basically would all have to do it 4 times. If you were like with a group of 4 people is what the article says. And people have been doing it. Some people have even done it alone.
That's
people
ridiculous.
are dying on the inside.
Yeah.
Did you read the bottom one?
I'm scrolling through the pictures right now.
I went to the toilet. They took away my meal and gave me a new one.
Oh my god. But yeah, that is just absurd.
That's
but
ridiculous.
at the same, like, it's just crazy because, like, the thing that, like, if it was just its own marketing thing, it'd be like, that's amazing, that's hilarious. But the fact that, like, Americans got it just for, like, buying something at Amazon, whereas Chinese players have to, like, like, hurt themselves.
Did
with
it say how
food.
much that whole meal is?
No. I mean, if it does, I can't understand, because it shows the ad. I don't really see what the cost
I would hope
of
it would
is.
equate to $20, U.S. currency.
Oh, it's more than $20.
Yeah.
There's no way it's less than $20.
It's like a buffet.
Yeah, it's absurd. Oh my!
I couldn't imagine eating all that by yourself. That would be like multiple meals in a week.
I can count maybe like 1 or 2 times in my entire life when I maybe could have done that. That's it. Like maybe one time in my entire life that I was like so hungry I could have done that.
Yeah,
but it's like even then I highly doubt I actually would have been able to.
People are desperate for stuff like that, so I mean, you gotta risk it.
Got that metabolism.
So to kind of add some perspective on this, there was I bought I have the fat black chocobo.
Of course you do.
I
do not.
But what I did is I just bought because you have to pay a monthly fee. So I just bought 2 months worth of the monthly charge or whatever.
Yeah, because Final Fantasy 14 is subscription based.
Yeah, subscription based. So one, I can continue to play the game for 2 more months. I think I have, at this point, I probably have about 70 days that I can still play before I have to pay again. Which is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. But to add some perspective to this, there was another mount that I saw while playing the other day, and it was a fat Moogle. And this was quote controversy that occurred back when the game launched. But you can pay $30 to get this mount.
Okay, yeah. There's some mounts that just straight up cost $30.
Yeah, so you can give Square Enix, you can give them $30 to have this mount.
Wasn't there also like a cloud that's also like $30?
Yeah, I think his bike is like $30.
Well, no, it was like a cloud you ride, like Goku.
Oh,
like a Nimbus cloud?
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. I'm not sure.
I think that one, people were saying that one was kind of expensive too.
I don't remember that one off the top of my head, but the friend I was playing with at the time was like, "Oh my god, are you really gonna spend $30 on a mount?" And I'm like, "Well, I just might." But it's $30 and I don't have to eat.
I just noticed one of the pictures of like they stacked all the food. And the caption is "Heaven on High."
Yeah,
that's really funny.
It's insane though.
But yeah, that's ridiculous. Like no, I mean like I'm all for like stupid marketing like challenges, but the fact that Americans got it so easy when the Chinese got it so hard is just like, come on guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I'm curious if that was. I mean, Square had to have had a part.
I mean, yeah, that's how marketing things work.
Yeah, but it's just weird, like, because I mean, I believe Chinese people, like, really love KFC.
I mean, I like KFC.
But, like, I think they consume more KFC, like, per person than, like, your average American would, or whatever.
Do you have facts to back this statement up, John? Do you have evidence?
I believe we talked about it in one of my markets.
We can't bring up substantiated claims to this podcast, John.
I mean,
You know that.
if you give me some time to Google, but I believe we talked about it in my marketing class. And so I think it was one of those, well, you know, the Chinese people really like KFC, we'll do this for them. I'm curious if the original intention was, we're going to make this so insane that no one can get it.
I mean, they got publicity.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the whole point of the marketing challenges. They got what they wanted.
Kind of negative publicity.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's goofy, but it's weird. I didn't know it was a thing, and then saw the article pop up on my feed. Kind of laughed. But it's a lot of food.
All right, you wanna hit with one more story before we get into the main topic, not the real topic, the main topic. I don't want to invalidate anything else I was talking about. What do you say? Should we talk about smoking or microtransactions? I'll toss it to the panel.
I'd say smoking, because microtransactions, everybody's, you know, that's like beating a dead horse at this point.
All right.
Yeah, I'm alright talking about smoking.
EA bad.
EA bad.
All right. So, news came out. I'm on Kotaku.com, by the way. News came out that the Coalition, the developers of Gears of War 5, or just Gears 5, have worked with Truth Initiative, the anti-smoking group, who you may have seen around with the really super annoying ads.
Is that the orange ones?
The ones that are like, not smoking is really lit, fam. With dubstep, that's pretty much them.
Pass.
Yeah.
Or the ones, don't they show, like, no, they don't show the gross teeth ones, do they?
Nah, they're all about, like, targeting young kids. Or not,
Okay.
like, not even young, just like
Kids.
like Gen Z,
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
know what you're talking about.
The ads are really obnoxious, but I mean, good message. Don't, you know, smoking's bad for your health. But the Coalition have worked with them to, quote, remove all smoking references, end quote, from Gears of War 5. And they said this isn't going to be just for Gears 5, it's also going to be for any game in the franchise moving forward. And the thing is, like, I think it's easy to be really cynical about this and just go like, oh, this is just pandering, this is censorship, or this is, I don't know, SJW, Paul, or whatever gone mad. But Rod Ferguson, the studio head at the Coalition, actually has a very personal, how do I want to phrase this? I don't want to say relationship, but he has been affected personally by smoking in his life. He is, he tweeted out, kind of, after some of the backlash, which is like kind of weird because it's like backlashing people removing smoking. It's like, who really cares at the end of the day? But there's backlash. He responded to it saying, his, like, quote, my dad smoked. He died of a heart attack at age 38. I was 4. End quote.
Yeah.
So you can see why he personally would not want to glorify or make smoking look cool, or even really like have that idea. So it's one of those things that I understand, but what are you guys thinking about it?
Quick side note. I will get back to this, but I did find an article from Business Insider that said KFC is the most popular fast food restaurant in China.
Yeah,
Just
but
so you know.
China has like 7 billion people.
But it's the most popular. So
And I know 7 billion is the population of Earth. Don't, before people get all.
I feel validated though.
Okay, I was asking for the receipts, John. That's all I was saying.
And there's the receipt.
Okay, but yeah, back to Gears 5.
Yeah. Kegan, you can go.
I was gonna say honestly, you know, as you know, it makes sense because you don't want to glorify smoking. Tobacco kills, everything like that. You know, we've been raised that, you know, the earlier generations were idiots for doing it, but
Lung
it's also
cancer and all that.
Yes, but it's also what's the rating of Gears 5?
Yeah, it's rated M.
You know,
You got
have to
chainsaw
at least
guns.
be 17 to play that game, which the legal age to smoke in most states is 18 now.
But the thing is, I don't think they care about like kids seeing that. They just don't want people to smoke at all.
No, in general, it's you don't want to glorify it at all, and I agree with that too.
But that would be my response to the "it's rated M, what are you doing" argument. Is like, well, they don't want anyone to think smoking is cool.
Exactly, and I have no problem with that either. In all honesty, like it's if I'm playing a video game, it's like if someone's gonna add smoking in a game, they're adding to it to make that character. I mean, not necessarily like more like a like a
Kojima
like a BA person.
Well, like Kojima said, he saw like when he was working on Death Stranding, he saw Mads Mikkelsen smoking outside the studio and thought he looked cool, so he made his character start smoking cigarettes too. It's like complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, it's all really kind of how you just want.
Yeah, it's like
because I mean, you could have a character who's a complete terrible being in a sense, and you could show them smoking, and that could show smoking in a bad light, or you could be like, well, that
character's cool.
Yeah, or you can have like Jim Hopper in Stranger Things 3, who's the ultimate he's not the greatest role model in the world, but he's a really cool guy. He saves the day and he smokes and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the thing is
really
like
how you kind of want to portray your character. And it's
for me,
is anything.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those things like it's kind of a message that's bigger than games.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, but at the same time, I think about games like Metal Gear Solid 4. Well, I was back on the subject of Kojima, where Solid Snake smokes cigarettes. Big Boss smokes cigars, but Solid Snake smokes cigarettes. And when the game was one of the first games that had multi-core Blu-ray disc technology. So basically what would happen is like it would install each act separately as you played. And while you waited for the next part of the game to install, the loading screen was just Solid Snake standing there smoking a cigarette. But what it would do is it would have like little hints or like information on the loading screen, because it didn't take too long. It didn't take an incredible amount of time. But what some of the things some of the side, like tool tips, you see it all the time. Like you pause the game or you wait for a loading screen. It's like, hey, did you know you could do this? And there were some that were straight up like, hey, smoking's bad for your health.
Yeah.
If you do smoke, be sure to put out cigarettes at like very specific. Don't litter. It's like it wasn't pro smoking. It was just like this character smokes. Just be like, if you do smoke, be mindful of others, and smoking causes lung cancer, so just be aware of that. And so it's kind of interesting seeing the two different approaches, or I guess 3 different approaches to smoking, where you have one Death Stranding, where it's like we're literally just adding it because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gears of War, where we're removing it because we don't want people to think it's cool. And then Metal Gear Solid 4, where it's there, but we're letting people know that this is not something they should do.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my opinion on it. I don't necessarily, like with any media, I don't necessarily take like, oh, I see a character smoking and suddenly I want to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think it depends on the how educated the person is and their personal moral, whatever. And I understand, people do turn to media to find role models and stuff. The thing is, like with anything, there are people who smoke.
Yes.
It's probably not gonna go away. Smoking has decreased significantly, though we have replaced it with vaping and Juuls and stuff.
Which is a million times worse.
Well,
with the nicotine,
they're still doing studying. They're still studying it.
The nicotine content of a Juul is...
Oh, yes.
Well,
definitely.
yeah.
That's not
a Juul,
an argument. That's not the argument. But,
yeah.
So, like...
Pass the Juul, fam.
People are going to smoke. You're going to have characters that are, not nice people, or people that are really cool. It's not a personality trait. It's just one of those, oh, well, this character smokes because he's a smoker.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest, everyone. Smoking looks cool. Can we just agree on that? It looks cool.
I'd say, yeah.
It makes a character look cool. A lot of characters look cooler.
Oh yeah, you got a gung ho, outsider guy like
You've
Spike.
got some,
going
yeah.
back to anime, Spike Spiegel, dude sitting there smoking a cig, taking a drag. You're telling me that doesn't make him look a million times cool?
Like, it looks
throw a toothpick in his mouth.
Well, yeah, but like,
yeah,
cool
you can do that.
I just want to be clear that like sometimes smoking looks really cool, but it causes cancer. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I think the Metal Gear Solid 4 approach is honestly like the best. Like, I don't want to like form a specific, because like at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. If you don't want your game to have smoking because you don't want to glorify it, that's your that's your decision as the creator. I get it, especially because the creator had a personal attachment to it. But I really like the way 4 presented it, where it's like, hey, we know it's cool, but we're making it very clear that this is not something you should do.
Yeah.
But if you want to be all aesthetic, at least be courteous to your other non-smokers, or to other people who aren't smoking by not littering.
But you gotta think, the games that come out, like with coming out of Japan, how much of Japan's populace smokes?
Yeah, that is true.
A high amount, of the populace compared to most.
Do you have facts to back up that statement?
I've got anime on my side.
Hey, John, I can back it up. I've watched anime too. They smoke a lot, so obviously it's a great indicator of reality.
Oh, sorry, I completely forgot.
Hey, anime is real life. Don't forget that, kids.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
Yeah.
So tying it all back.
Only in the first part.
Full circle. I think that's a good place to wrap up the news discussion. We're kind of going. It's kind of hard to tell what the time is because we did kind of mess around beforehand, and there was some stuff we we cut out. Ooh, scandalous. It wasn't anything like actually scandalous. It was just whatever. Not worth mentioning. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the main topic, which is
I suggested it.
It was Keegan's idea, to be honest. Give credit where credit is due. I just want to talk briefly about video game soundtracks, because Kegan brought up that lately he's found that listening to video game soundtracks has helped him study. You talk about it, Kegan. I don't want to speak for you.
Me being a financial advisor, having a bunch of licenses, a bunch of tests for it, and they're not usually the most fun. So it's not like sitting there and I'm in a classroom listening to someone teach. I'm sitting there reading something hours on end. Honestly, I'd say probably read about 4 or 5 hours a day on stuff. And it's, sitting there in an office in a cubicle gets kind of boring, and you hear people on phones, and it's, it's quiet, but it's, you've got people on the phone, stuff like that. So it's, you gotta kind of have some way to block it out, and putting in, headphones and not listening to anything is dull. And I don't know if anybody else is like this. It'd be cool if I could put it in a podcast or like, a TV show, but it's also one that's going to draw my attention away from the stuff. Well, as if someone's talking, I'm going to be hearing the words.
Yeah, I have a hard time reading when also
and
listening.
Not reading. So, a lot of video game soundtracks, at least for the most part, the ones that I listen to that I study are very just instrumental or orchestral. The other day, 2 days ago, actually, no, not 2 days ago. So yesterday, I listened to the entire Twilight Princess original soundtrack. It's one of my favorite games. Really great soundtrack, everything like that. And it really helped me get through the day. Today, I listened through Skyward Sword.
What about Wind Waker?
Wade, we've had this discussion about Wind Waker. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, well.
But either way, it's and it's. I remember in college, I would find like a 30-minute Queen Rutila, continuous track, or one of the guys who's one of my roommates would listen to the Skyrim soundtrack.
Yep,
because it's very calming. It's
atmospheric.
Like, yeah, it's
check out my video, Immersion versus Attachment, on YouTube right now. Got the Skyrim soundtrack. I talk about it extensively.
Hashtag plug.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, it's you're not like I do catch myself time to time like listening and like when I'm listening to music, like humming to it and like kind of thinking about like where that moment is or like what last remember of it. So it's like I do catch myself from it, but it's like that allows me to really focus on what I'm reading actually, and kind of helps me through that process. So I mean, in addition to great sounding, soundtracks of games, it's also just a a good way to help me stay calm through my reading and really not distract me, but help me out.
I know for me, to butt in, something that I like to do was when I was editing videos. There's this channel on YouTube where it's just like a 24/7 radio of Nintendo soundtracks.
Oh wow!
Of just like anything that's been on Nintendo, we got the soundtrack for it. We're just playing it pretty much on. You can even like request songs if you want. I haven't tuned in for a while, so I don't know if they've changed things. But that was
they put like an entire soundtrack, or like
they pretty much had an entire. They pretty much had an entire catalog of music you could choose from, and so they had soundtracks for pretty much every Nintendo game under the sun.
Wow.
And you could just request a song, and then it would start a queue, and like the queue would be like 2 hours long of requests, and then once that queue was nearing the end, then you would request more songs, and then keep going. So that's how it worked. And like they even have some non-Nintendo songs that are just like, hey, these are so good, we just wanted to have these on the list anyway. But that was something that really helped me, because like when you have too much control over the music you're listening to, you focus a lot more on like, I don't want that one. Next. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, I just like this song for this part. Okay, that part's over. Next. You're focusing more on, finding the right song for the moment. Whereas when you're listening to something that's a bit more random, a bit more shuffled, you kind of just live in the moment a little bit more. You kind of just have it on to have it on. And the thing was nice because it exposed me to a lot of soundtracks I didn't know about before. That was like, this is killer. Like Etrian Odyssey has a lot of great tracks. People request those people request those so much, and after a while, it's like, all right, we get it. Etrian Odyssey has a good soundtrack. Let's get some other things. But it's like, well, I get why they're requesting it so much. And so that one's been good for me.
Yeah. I would totally listen to Breath of the Wild. Like, there's an hour-long version on YouTube, and I would just have that on.
That's too simple for me.
Which would you know which one? Like, is it the field theme or?
No, it's like
just the ambient music.
It's a bunch of their ambient music or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, the whole soundtrack is ambient.
Yeah, for the most part.
So it was enough that I wasn't totally focused on the music that was going on, and it was long enough that I would, get back to it. Nier Automata is a good soundtrack.
Don't even get me started.
That's a little too intense.
At times, you gotta pick out the right songs, because there's times where it's been like intense battle music, and you're like, okay, I gotta the next get a little bit more soothing. I've had to do that a couple of times.
Yeah. But no, I definitely understand. I've listened to so many soundtracks instead of like actual music or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good vibe to it. There's so many good soundtracks out there in general. Like I was saying about The World Ends With You. I find myself like opening the menu just to swap over to a different song because I'm like, wait, that one cut off. Can I hear like what goes on like later on in the song? A lot more.
Oh, I love doing that. Like
the songs are a lot more involved than I thought they were going to be in the game. Like just a lot going on with the music. So it's really interesting. In general, so I wish I could take time to just listen to music while I'm working.
Do you guys listen to video game or original video game music at all? Just normal, like just like in the car or something?
Yeah.
Because like Persona 5 for me, Persona 5 was just on loop for. I mean, it still is sometimes.
Yeah. I actually when Skyward Sword came out for Wii originally in what was 2012 or whatever. That was the 25th year of Zelda.
Oh yeah, yep. I had that. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It came with the 45-minute disc. That's been sitting in my car since I got that game.
I listened to that so much in my car,
and I will listen to it, every so often, or like when I'm on a road trip, or I'm like, dude, I have nothing to listen to, some, I don't have any podcasts or anything like that. And I'm like, I just want some like good music, but it's like I don't want to sit there and listen to people singing.
Yeah.
So that is a good one. That 25th anniversary album, so good. That's a great one.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting there and be like, oh heck yeah, I'll listen to this. Because Koji Kondo, that man can make some damn.
The Wind Waker medley is legit. Yeah. Like, oh my god, oh my god, and the Twilight Princess medley. Like they're all. I mean, every single song on that album is amazing.
Yeah,
I think that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the best thing you can listen to. The 30th.
I have both at 25th.
The 25th, yeah.
I have both.
Well, there's the 30th as well.
The 30th came out?
There is a 30th anniversary one.
I guess I didn't know that. It didn't I got the one that.
A lot of people say it's better than the 25th, but I don't know. I just have an attachment to the 25th.
I want to go to their 30th, or you know how they have the traveling orchestra,
like the Symphony of the Goddess or something like that.
Yes, how they have a live. I would kill to go to something like that.
Yeah. I know, like Assassin's Creed is doing a tour right now, but it's like, get out of here. Like you got some good tracks, but
I don't want to hear eagles screaming every.
But yeah, I think that is the correct answer. I think we found the correct answer. It's like the Legend of Zelda 25th anniversary soundtrack or anniversary album. What is it like?
25th anniversary.
Album, whatever.
Also, all of us being huge Zelda fanboys probably.
Yeah, it doesn't help with the bias, but it's just so good. That just like you put that on and it takes you to a new place.
Oh yeah.
And so that's like we're gonna have to wrap it up here pretty soon. But I just want to say, if you want something new to listen, if you want my recommendation for what like you just I mean, speak for yourself. I'm talking personal. It just so happens you all agree. But if you just want like the thing to listen to while you do other stuff, The Legend of Zelda 25th anniversary soundtrack, it is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That it is.
And on that note,
did I let you borrow that CD to download?
No, I had my own.
You got Skyward Sword?
You lent it to me to download, I think, first, and then I ended up getting Skyward Sword anyway, and then I had my own.
Okay.
The thing is, alright, I want to end this, but I gotta say this real quick. I had the CD in my car, but my CD player stopped working. So I had to replace my stereo, but we couldn't save the disc, so...
R.I.P.
Yeah, so, sad day. But I can still listen to it whenever I want, because the internet exists. And I mean, if Nintendo wants to get mad at me for streaming it on YouTube, I can just I bought it. Like I bought the game. I could legally allowed to do this. But I think that's how it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just on YouTube anyway, and if they haven't taken it down there, then
if internet rules are, then yes.
All right, well, we're gonna end it there before I incriminate myself any further. I mean, I'm just on YouTube. This has been an interesting first try. We still got some stuff to work out with the timing, especially. I think we're a bit over what I had planned, but that's okay. That's okay.
That's perfectly fine.
We'll figure it out. I hope we didn't. Actually, I'm not going to apologize for making any mistakes. This is the best podcast ever recorded. Thank you for listening to us talk about Final Fantasy, Sword Art Online, World Ends With You, Legend of Zelda, KFC, Gears of War 5, smoking cigarettes. It's been an honor. So
but
where can...
Don't smoke.
Yeah, don't smoke. I think that's...
Do whatever makes you feel happy.
Don't smoke cigarettes. It causes lung cancer and it'll upset your family. And secondhand smoke is worse than...
It's a killer.
Okay. Where can people find you, Kegan? If they want to follow you on the Twitters.
On the Twitters.
Or the social medias.
At Kegan Jin. It's KE_GAN_GIN. My name is Kegan-san. I don't really tweet much. When I do, it's mainly about video games. A lot of my retweets are about that. Otherwise, my gaming handle Zeldred. Most gaming platforms you can find me at Zeldred. So that's where you can find me.
John, are you okay with doxing yourself?
I mean, I'm very uninteresting, but I'm on.
That's a chair creaking, by the way.
I assumed as much. I'm on Twitter. I actually don't know my Twitter name off the top of my head, to be honest.
It's like J_Baldacci97.
I think so.
If I got that right, I'm gonna feel weird, honestly. I actually
no, Jonathan B_97.
Oh!
Close enough. I thought it was the other way, too. So...
He's got the best picture ever.
My picture's kind of funny. I think
you'll have to find out. You have to go there to find out what that picture is.
I mostly, my opinions are my own kind of thing or whatever. I post.
He talks politics.
Yeah,
that's all he talks. That's all he tweets. It's just politics.
Gamer president, yes.
Ace Watkins, 2020.
But no, it's video games or anime related mostly. Sometimes I'll post stuff that I think's funny.
You'll retweet a funny meme about Area 51.
Yep.
Dude, I can't wait to get an alien waifu from Area 51.
Same though. And then on.
You don't have to say your PSN names, or.
Yeah.
I don't know why Kegan did, but.
Yeah.
That was his prerogative.
Hey, is this a video gaming podcast?
Hey, I don't share mine. People DM me and ask for it, and I'm like, no. I only give that out to close friends.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is, like, I don't want someone to know my PSN name unless I know we're actually going to do stuff with that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I'm a little more stingy with it. I get why you want a big friends list. It makes the leaderboards a little more exciting.
Keegan, you don't even get on your PS4.
He has an Xbox.
No. I don't really get much.
Let's end the show. We're over time.
Alrighty.
Are you done, John?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I don't really.
I am
intending on plugging in the first place. So.
Well, I just figured while we're here, this is what you do in outros of podcasts. My Twitter name is @WadeLikesPie, all_. You can find the Ron's Pies Twitter accounts. I repurposed an old account into the Ron's Pies Twitter account. It is @Ron's_Pies. I couldn't just get the Ron's Pies, and that made me, not gonna lie, that kind of pissed me off. But it's all good. If you're here, that means you know what the channel is. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. If you liked the best podcast ever recorded, I'm never apologizing for being who I am. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, if you were watching, you were staring at maybe a moving graphic the entire time. And yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you next week at the same time. Hopefully with a little more preparedness. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you next time. Bye.